Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about Phraesto and evaluating him based on his performance in the different game modes, if he is a good choice for you to be building up as a Celestial Hypogean hero on your account. Now before we get into this, I do want to mention that my overall priority and number one pick for a Celestial Hypogean hero for your first run to build on your account is still Rainier, and getting Rainier to Mythic Plus will help you the most for Dream Realm performance, which I consider to be the most important priority in your early and mid game. But after that point, choosing a second Celestial Hypogean hero, that is where there's some debate about what is the best choice, and that's how we're kind of going to be evaluating Fresto. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the game mode where he shines in the most, which is the Dream Realm. And now it can be confusing because if you take a look at the top team compositions and the different Dream Realm bosses, they're going to sometimes contain multiple Celestial Hypogean heroes, so it's difficult to tell which one is actually the more impactful for you to build on your account. But we're going to be looking at teams that try to have only Phraesto and Rainier, for example, and compare it to the other options to consider whether Phraesto is better overall in the Dream Realm compared to some other Celestial Hypogean heroes out there. So first of all, I want to talk about the two Dream Realm bosses where Fresto is not the best option in the endgame team. And that is going to be Necrodraken, where you want to have a tank who moves around the battlefield like Temesia. And as you can see, Fresto has no place in Necrodraken. He will not improve your score there at all. And also Snow Stomper is pretty similar because you're denied ultimate cast, and specific heroes just work a little bit better here compared to Fresto. So Fresto, again, as you can see, is not going to be a part of any of the endgame teams for Snow Stomper or Necrodraken both, and he will not improve your score in these two Dream Realm bosses. But for the other four bosses, he is a part of the overall top scoring endgame team. But that doesn't mean, for example, if you have him, you're going to guarantee to get a higher rank than if, for example, you had Scarlita in place of him. So that is what we're going to evaluate as well. Okay, let's begin with King Croaker because that is the boss we're currently attacking right now. As you can tell, there are a lot of teams using multiple Celestial Hypogean heroes. Mainly the all-time best team currently is Anima Vesta's team, which is Ludovic, Talene, Phraesto, using these two Celestial Hypogean heroes. Now, if you don't have Talene, and for example you have Ludovic, then you can run a team that the Brutus player has in his top ranking scoreboard, and this managed to get 40.5 billion damage. But as you can see, there was even a higher score by True Fighter, and look at the difference in the scores between True Fighter and Booster is not using any Celestial Hypogeans other than Rainier. Although, that being said, overall, if you do multiple runs, this Fresto team is going to outperform the team that Worcester has, and I've seen it. And even the team that Worcester has was a really high roll score, and normally that team scores even lower than that. In my score, which I've done multiple attempts right now, I haven't even managed to break 39 billion, and the Fresto team is more easily breaking even 41 billion. If we look at, for example, now Lone Gaze is going to be a team, and there's actually a really good comparison here. There is a team by Abdul Rahman who has only Fresto and Rainier in here. He doesn't have any other Celestial Hypogean hero, and also only plus 10 exclusive equipment upgrade on Fresto, so he's not needing to spawn that additional illusion. And of course, if you have more Celestial Hypogean heroes, then you can even go for the team that Gideon has. However, if you look at Worcester's team again, Scarlita on her own and Fresto on his own, the Scarlita is outperforming the Fresto, and some of it will come down to RNG, but that being said, the Scarlita is kind of, even in this mode, matching the performance of Fresto on his own. Alpha Bear is going to be a place where he really shines. If you take a look at the top ranking team, it is only using Fresto, not even Rainier on the team, and getting 41.6 billion damage, which no one can compete with any other heroes. Like even my team with Scarlet at 37 billion, Booster is 37 billion. So definitely in Alpha Bear, and we can take a look at the formation if you guys want to copy this down. This is going to be the optimal team where Fresto on his own is going to carry you into top ranking position. So Alpha Bear for sure. By having Fresto built, you're going to guarantee yourself the highest ranking placement, because the people who don't have Fresto built will just not be able to compete with you. Even if, for example, slightly lower levels, once you've equalized the levels by reaching 510, you're definitely going to be able to be knocking out other people from the ranking board if you have Fresto built up. So Alpha Bear definitely is a place where he does shine. Let's take a look at Skyclops now. So Skyclops, as you can tell, the best team is again going to be the Talene team, but let's ignore that and look at Jedion's team. So Jedion's team with both Phraesto and Scarlita is only slightly outperforming the only Scarlita team. So again, Scarlita is actually even outperforming the Phraesto in the Skyclops Dream Realm boss. So basically overall, in the Dream Realm, Phraesto has the Alpha Bear where he will outperform just by building him up alone. He will make your team stronger and he will carry your team to a higher ranking. In Lone Gaze, Skyclops, you'll want to pair him with Scarlita for maximum effect. As you can see here, he is always most effectively paired with Scarlita, and without the Scarlita, you're going to be lacking a really top performing team. And in King Croaker boss, if you can get the Talene as well, this is the all-time ultimate team that no one can compete with. But if you don't have the Talene, then at most you can do what True Fighter did with the Ludovic Phraesto type combo, and Wooster was able to almost get close to that without even having Phraesto. But yeah, King Croaker is another place where Phraesto is going to outperform Scarlita for sure. So King Croaker and Alpha Bear are where Phraesto will shine and probably will net you a higher ranking by building him up. But Skyclops and Lone Gaze, you will want to pair him with Scarlita for maximum effect, or maybe even with Talene again. And then Necrodrake and Snow Stomper, he has no use. So that is basically the evaluation of his performance in Dream Realm. And overall, definitely, he does have a good Dream Realm performance. And most likely, these bosses are going to continue over into future seasons. And so it will be valuable to have a good current performing Dream Realm team in future seasons as well. And also when we talk about future season updates, they might be adding Crystal Beetle, which was the Primal Lord of this season, into the Dream Realm boss lineup. And if they do add that, Phraesto was also a part of the best endgame team there as well, but along with Scarlita. Scarlita was also the key monster hero to be using there, and arguably maybe even more important to have a Scarlita than a Fresto in that lineup. So as you can see, Scarlita is also a very meta Dream Realm hero, and that is why I usually recommend her in my videos, because not only is she meta in Dream Realm, she also has better PvP use than Fresto. But let's talk about the AFK stage pushing. So in AFK stage pushing, definitely if you have Phraesto built, it will make your life a lot easier. You'll be able to auto battle through stages, and as you can see, there's almost always now going to be a lineup with a Phraesto, and the higher builds and higher ascended you have Phraesto, the lower levels you'll then be able to clear these floors with and proceed to a higher AFK stage. It makes your life a lot easier, because what I have to do when I'm using a non-Phraesto team is I normally choose a Phraesto team and then decide to replace Fresto with a tank, either Granny, Brutus, and it is not as effective. But you can clear, you just have to wait and level up a bit more. So I don't think AFK stage pushing is such a priority, because there is kind of, like, you stop gaining the diamonds and recruitment ticket rewards after reaching around 1,200 of the AFK stage. Then you're just getting seasonal essence, and we're kind of level capped as it is in most of the key game modes anyway, like Supreme Arena and Dream Realm. So the further progress of seasonal essence doesn't add too much, in my opinion. So, but for AFK stage pushing, you can definitely probably push to a higher 100 stages if you have Phraesto on your account, and it makes it a lot easier as well. So for that for that use, definitely Phraesto is a top tier hero for AFK stages. He is the best option for that, and there's no comparison with any other hero. He is the top of the competition for that. In terms of PvP, he has some uses in PvP, but I very rarely see him in the Supreme Arena. Definitely, I think he can be used most effectively to counter enemy Valas by having his illusion position to take the mark, and even can try to sometimes counter Sylvina in certain formations where they don't have a symmetrical tile, and you can just place the illusion in the backmost tile. And of course, having two copies of a single hero with the same stats is going to add more tankiness to your team, so he's not bad. But I do not think he competes with Scarlita in PvP. If you take a look at the top ranking arena formations, if we just look at them in the non-seasonal arena, and we can, even in Supreme Arena, there will always be a Scarlita team if someone has a Scarlita built. And if you look at the top ranking defenses on my server, the top almost 10 now all have Scarlita in them, and I don't think any of them has Fresto. Maybe Splash has Fresto, who is our #1 player but I haven't checked, and he might not even be running that. And Phraesto's best use in PvP is either in zoo type comps with Florabelle and Burial, and because he has a lot of tankiness and he can be annoying in those comps, or like I said, to counter Valas on defense. So that is basically the overall view of Fresto, and really looking at the Dream Realm and trying to isolate him compared to the other Celestial Hypogean heroes. I don't think on his own he is going to increase your Dream Realm performance by that much. Mainly only in the Alpha Bear and King Croaker bosses on his own. If you have Scarlita already built up and then Fresto on top of that, that's when your Dream Realm gets pretty insane and close to the max cap teams. And of course, if you have Talene as well, then you have all the tools needed to maximize your score. So that is really my overall view on Fresto. Even though he has some Dream Realm uses, you're still reliant on Scarlita for those top scoring teams, and he has less PvP use than Scarlita, and so I still kind of recommend Scarlita after Rainier to Mythic Plus, but I can totally understand why someone would want to go for Fresto, and definitely if you're prioritizing AFK stage pushing, then Fresto cannot be beat on that front. But anyway guys, let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for this video, and I hopefully will see you guys in the next video, and until then everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.